Let's just be grateful we survived the apocalypse healthy and mutation-free.
I said I can do it.
Hey, shut up!
Oh, hey, Cleve Maya.
That's Quagland.
Quagland? Oh, you must be dreaming.
It's a scenario that no one wants to think about, but it's a possibility that we must consider. What would happen if Russia were to launch a nuclear attack on Ukraine? First, it's important to understand the context in which this hypothetical attack would take place. Russia and Ukraine have a complicated and tumultuous history, with tensions dating back centuries. In recent years, tensions have risen even further due to the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution and Russia's subsequent annexation of Crimea. While there have been ongoing conflicts and clashes between the two countries, the possibility of a nuclear attack has always seemed like a distant and unlikely prospect. But let's imagine for a moment that Russia does decide to use nuclear weapons against Ukraine. The immediate effects would be catastrophic. The explosion from a single nuclear warhead has the potential to kill hundreds of thousands of people and cause widespread destruction over an area of several square miles. If Russia were to launch multiple warheads, the death toll and destruction could be even worse. The psychological effects of a nuclear attack would also be devastating. The fear and terror caused by such a devastating attack would have a lasting impact on the people of Ukraine, as well as on the rest of the world. The memories of the attack and the horrors that followed would stay with people for the rest of their lives. The economic consequences of a nuclear attack would also be severe. Ukraine's economy would be severely impacted, with infrastructure and businesses being destroyed and the country's ability to trade with other nations being disrupted. This would have a ripple effect on the global economy, as Ukraine is an important player in the international market. In the aftermath of a nuclear attack, the international community would likely come together to try and help Ukraine rebuild and recover. There would be a massive humanitarian effort to provide food, shelter, and medical care to those affected by the attack. However, the recovery process would be long and difficult, and it would take years for the country to fully rebuild. It's difficult to say exactly how the rest of the world would respond to a nuclear attack on Ukraine. It's possible that other nations could come to Ukraine's aid and possibly even take military action against Russia. However, it's also possible that the international community could be hesitant to get involved in such a volatile and potentially dangerous situation. Ultimately, the prospect of a nuclear attack on Ukraine is a terrifying one, with the potential to cause untold destruction and loss of life. It's a scenario that we must do everything in our power to avoid, and it's important that we work to maintain peace and stability in the region. Nuclear weapons have been a part of our world for over 70 years now. They have the power to destroy entire cities, wipe out entire populations, and have the potential to cause global devastation. But just how powerful are nukes? To answer this question, we have to first understand what a nuclear weapon is. A nuclear weapon is a device that uses a nuclear reaction to release a large amount of energy, which is then used to create a massive explosion. The energy released by a nuclear weapon is so great that it can easily destroy entire cities, and even entire countries. The first nuclear weapon was used by the United States in 1945, during World War II. The bomb, called Little Boy, was dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima, killing over 140,000 people and causing widespread devastation. The United States later dropped a second nuclear bomb, called Fat Man, on the city of Nagasaki, killing an additional 40,000 people. Since then, nuclear weapons have been used in several other conflicts, including the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Gulf War. However, they have never been used in a major war since World War II. So, just how powerful are nukes? Well, it depends on the size and type of the weapon. The United States has several different types of nuclear weapons in its arsenal, including bombs, missiles, and artillery shells. The smallest nuclear weapon in the US arsenal is the B-61 bomb, which has a yield of around 0.3 kilotons. This means that it has the potential to release the equivalent of 0.3 thousand tons of TNT. On the other end of the spectrum, the largest nuclear weapon in the US arsenal is the B-83 bomb, which has a yield of around 1.2 megatons. This means that it has the potential to release the equivalent of 1.2 million tons of TNT. To put this into perspective, the B-83 bomb is over 4,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. But it's not just the United States that has nuclear weapons. There are currently 9 countries that are known to possess nuclear weapons: the United States, Russia, China, France, the United Kingdom, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel. These countries have a combined total of over 13,000 nuclear weapons, with Russia and the United States being the 2 countries with the most nuclear weapons in their arsenal. So, just how powerful are nukes? They are incredibly powerful. A single nuclear weapon has the potential to destroy an entire city and kill millions of people. They are a destructive force unlike any other, and their power should not be underestimated. But while nukes are incredibly powerful, they are also incredibly dangerous. The use of nuclear weapons can have catastrophic consequences, not just for the countries that use them, but for the entire world. The use of nuclear weapons can lead to widespread devastation, radiation poisoning, and long-term environmental damage. That's why it's so important for countries to work towards disarmament and to reduce the number of nuclear weapons in the world. While nukes may be powerful, their power should not be used. Instead, countries should work towards finding peaceful solutions to conflicts and strive for a world free of nuclear weapons. Who has the biggest military today? This is a question that has been asked by many people around the world, and the answer is not always straightforward. There are several factors to consider when determining which country has the largest military, including the size of the active personnel, the number of reserve personnel, the amount of equipment and weapons, and the overall military budget. So, let's take a closer look at the top contenders for the title of the world's largest military. First, we have the United States. The United States has the largest military in the world, with over 1.3 million active personnel and over 810,000 reserve personnel. The US military is known for its advanced equipment and weapons, including aircraft carriers, tanks, and nuclear weapons. The US military budget is also the highest in the world, with a budget of over $700 billion in 2020. Next, we have China. China has the second largest military in the world, with over 2 million active personnel and over 2.3 million reserve personnel. The Chinese military is known for its large number of troops and its focus on ground forces, including tanks and artillery. China also has a large naval presence, with a growing number of aircraft carriers and destroyers. The Chinese military budget is the second highest in the world, with a budget of over $200 billion in 2020. India comes in third place on the list of the world's largest militaries. India has over 1.3 million active personnel and over 2.1 million reserve personnel. The Indian military is known for its strong ground forces, including tanks and artillery, as well as its large navy and air force. The Indian military budget is the third highest in the world, with a budget of over $70 billion in 2020. Russia is another top contender for the title of the world's largest military. Russia has over 1.3 million active personnel and over 2 million reserve personnel. The Russian military is known for its advanced weaponry, including nuclear weapons and aircraft carriers. The Russian military budget is the fourth highest in the world, with a budget of over $65 billion in 2020.